Yo, morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. It's a psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in our lives, as well as a self-improvement process to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions that we have set for ourselves as well as those around us. If you would like a brief introduction, a brief summary as to how we break down the Ahn Rho Project into domains of life, sub-series, analogies, and so on and so forth, you can check that out on the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years, shift to January 2021 and beyond for more updated versions, including the copyright-free music, the way we divvy the live streams into segments, 3 phases, and 15-minute live streams that won't take too much of your time, as well as content live stream schedule. That being said, let's dive into the second segment today. As usual, 3 kind of points. First of all, there's only 1 live stream today. Second is that, of course, you can skip. That was fast. Second is that you can skip ahead by about a minute and a half to 2 minutes to skip the abridged introduction. Every live stream on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, as a VOD. And if you're watching as a playback, and you already know the introduction. Second and last thing is, of course, is a Solve 75 will arise standing for System Override version 7.5, meaning that the rule to break all other rules, a system principle, that means I can free myself from the system to be practical and accomplish whatever goals I have set forth for the day, or per live stream, or per media asset. It's just about being practical. That being said, get what is most urgently needed to be done. Wow, that's verbose. So let's just dive into it. Take a look at this is phase 2 now we're entering. So what you see is what you get. Take a look on screen. There's a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm just going to say that there's a large collage. I'm going to maximize everything here and just go through them one by one in sort of collage fashion. And then we're going to go through them individually. So you see some voice recordings, some videos, a psychotherapist, Dr. Romani. We also have some comments that I received from one of the videos. We have some food here having to do with dim sum. What else? At the very bottom, some Cantonese wonton noodles and some hair that I cut off. So there was some cleanup. Let me see if I can get rid of this now and move on to the left-hand panel, the top right-hand panel right there. This one is having to do with news, clearly politics. In the middle, we have something that was recommended to me from one of my colleagues. Not my kind of genre, but she recommended it. And then she also brought up things like anime and movies and TV series. So I searched up one of the things that I had no idea what she was talking about, so she said that for it and did that. And then we see at the very bottom there are some voice recordings once again, and that's a continuation of the previous screenshot. So again, once again here, you see the wonton noodles, photographs of some spring rolls, and so on and so forth. Ooh, there's on the right hand side, and also on the right hand side, I should expand this and get rid of it now because it's blocking the screen. But this is kind of like a breakdown of the things that I want to reply to my colleague LB. She's the one who recommended like F4 or whatever that. We'll get to that in a second. The TV series kind of thing that I searched up on her behalf out of her recommendation. And then at the very bottom you see some philosophical stuff and education related stuff, as well as it seems like tasks and system reminders. So we're gonna get through all this kind of stuff one by one. Let's begin with phase 2, segment 4. So we'll start off by pulling up the recordings. Like I said yesterday, I had at least 4 different recordings, maybe 5. A lot of them were chopped up into different topics, but the most important one I just wanted to note down is more just kind of fun. Like I said, this is at the workplace, of course. The most important one, let me lower the volume a little bit, has to do with my colleague who recommended this F4 Boys for Flowers, and I'm like, this is not the kind of thing I would watch. It's just completely different genre, but I'm pretty sure she was just trying to throwing out things that to get me talking, because I'm a very serious person in the workplace, and she's trying to get me to loosen up. So she brings up movies and TV series, and she brings up Hunter x Hunter. I'm like, I was surprised that she even watches Hunter x Hunter. It's like she's so much like she's from a different generation, right? I'm like, whoa, that's very open-minded of you. But even I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter. Like, that's crazy, you know? She's ahead of me. So if it wasn't for my brother, I wouldn't know about this anime at all. So then I thought, okay, she's like, what kind of childhood do you have, man? You know, I don't have much of a childhood. Like, um, so then I go down, okay, all right, let's think about some things. I like what she's doing, so she's trying to get me to talk about stuff and, you know, open up. All right, so I don't just work all the time, so I have some ideas of things that I want to recommend to her and trade off. So I googled up F4, this thing that she recommended to me. It's like some Taiwanese band, she said, and surely enough it was. And they have a series, and that's what she recommended to me. It's not my kind of thing, but let's reciprocate. And I say, all right, what do I have? Okay, in my head, Pulp Fiction, Breaking Bad, Yip Man. Yip Man is, you know, Bruce Lee's teacher. I had that Cantonese, you know, I'm not gonna call him Ip Man. That sounds horrible. That's not exactly how you put it. So that's not at all how you're supposed to say. That's not his name. But Hajime no Ippo, that's from my brother. Eight Real Lies, that's also my brother. Monster, all three of the animes are from my brother. The movies I searched myself or through friends. So that's the kind of stuff I would recommend to her. So you can see this is what the recording's about. Now obviously segment 4 and segment 5 have to do with relationships and media recordings related to the project. You can see on the very top of the live stream, of course, this live stream says clearing skies, and it doesn't go into detail about any of the specifics. It just says that's clearing skies because a lot of this is entertainment, right? I'm having have a much better time now, having done dealt with the domestic issues, and I'm putting that behind me now for the most part. I'll bring it up whenever it's relevant in terms of like yeah, whenever it's relevant, you know. But right now, it's like so that's the live stream. That's the audio recordings for yesterday, and then that's my wonderful colleague LB. I also want to have to, because of that, we're diving to segment 6, segment 4, 5 done, segment 6 now. So let's showcase, since we were just talking about what what she was talking. I searched up boys for flowers. So I searched up F4. Yeah, that's what you told me to search up. And then it says Boys Over Flowers, a South Korean television show. Okay. Wikipedia, F4, Taiwanese boy band, 2001 formed. And here's a kind of group pic of them. And you can see them. Apparently they've disbanded over and over. It says like 2001, 2003, 2008, 2013. So they have a interesting kind of chopped up togetherness. I don't know. Okay, I'm looking, searching for the right words. All right, Boys Over Flowers. Went to Wikipedia. All right, so this is a series, and apparently it's based over a Japanese band. Like, oh wow, go figure, right? So there's like South Korean boy band, but they're Taiwanese in nature, and then they adapted from a Japanese TV series. So it's all that kind of East Asian kind of stuff, minus China, obviously. And then here's a synopsis of that television series. I'm not going to run through it. If you want, just search on Wikipedia. I'm not going to run through it. So now let's dive into things outside of that recommendation and my colleague. So here is some politics for you. So Canadian politics. If you, I know you know, but because it's not relevant to many of you, but basically in Canada, the Conservative government just won over Nova Scotia. And it's hilarious because the Liberal government's in charge federally, and they're the ones who instigated this new election. It's hilarious. They just kind of shot themselves in the foot. But of course, that's just a very small thing here. A small victory. Nova Scotia is one of the smallest provinces in Canada. So, and then here are people rejoicing, the Conservatives usually online. Dear Nova Scotians, please do not vote for Liberals again. And there's a lot of disdain in Canada over the way Trudeau has handled everything. So naturally, everyone wants the Liberals out. Not like a large portion, but not everybody, right? I can't even say it's a majority, but we'll see about that. We'll see about that over the election. So it's kind of stupid running a kind of election over the kind of like the Delta variant resurgence of the COVID-19 pandemic. But you know, people are seeing through to it and feel like it doesn't make any sense. He's kind of just throwing everyone under the bus to get a majority government. So not too fond of that, and understandably so. So hopefully, he gets the nudge out. So let's take a look here. Here's a collage once again. What I want to cover now is some thing again to do with videos, and this one has to do with Dr. Ramani, psychotherapist. So this now has to do with domestic issues. Once again, spending for the past almost a full year, god damn it, it's a full year, trying to resolve the domestic issues, caregiving for my maternal guardian, and then start a new business that would take care of her health as well as my health, and then a new business for her as well, being her business advisor. So Dr. Ramani right here teaching me all about narcissistic abuse and how my mother was a covert or vulnerable narcissistic uh, narcissist, who transitioned from something along the lines of bipolar and CPTSD and hypersensitivity and passive aggressiveness, and then over to and that was passed on from my father's effect on her. The consequences of the relationship. He was a grandiose NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, incredibly uh, narcissistic rage, gaslighting, constantly insecure, incredibly self-entitled, arrogant, very arrogant man who destroyed business, destroyed her dreams, took away her health, took away her employment, and then did the same thing to me in terms of professional careers and my family. And then he's so conceited he can't even acknowledge it. He just has this narcissistic amnesia, as they call it. So, I just sought out a video, and that video upstairs yesterday was just on recommended list. It says 5 core elements of the dark personality, or D as they say. The researchers were breaking down the core elements of this pathological person into into selfishness and lack of empathy, and then they broke it down further into a statistical breakdown of the factors, and lack of empathy broke down into callousness and something else, I believe sadism. So and then it was like really just wanting to hurt people and enjoying taking pleasure in that. And then the other one was selfishness, which broke down into narcissistic entitlement, right? So just believing they're really great and grandiose, that they're the best in the world, and then as well as vindictiveness, or this vengefulness, that just holding grudge and bitterness and resentment towards people, and something else. So it was just a very interesting video overall. Thank you, Dr. Ramani. So back to politics. Oh, so this one has to do with an article yesterday, and has to do with some sort of political thing. So again, election time, and it says, I really like this person's comment. Advocate for science, very objective and neutral. It is common for young people to turn to the idealistic rather than the practical. Who was it who said that if a man is not a socialist by the time he's 20, he has not heart? If he's not a conservative by the time he's 40, he has no brain. Life experience simply teaches that these ideals are simply nice ideas and goals to aspire, but not the foundation for policy. So again, a very matured perspective on politics and so on and so forth. So I just kind of copy pasted here. Thank you, Advocate for Science, who's on MSN article. And I did, of course, upload a drive, kind of sync it up. I noticed that I'm probably running out of time now, so I want to kind of wrap up with photography here. Photography right here. So here's some food I ate yesterday from dim sum breakfast combo. This is yesterday night. It's a class 2 item. There's a spring rolls, siu mai, hagyun. So this is like basically like the hagao. It's basically something that I got from like a Chinese supermarket. But it's not my food, right? It's from my guardians. So I ended up binge eating on that, and that I was not supposed to do that. So it's class 2 item. Personal insecurities. I also cut my hair yesterday, so there's something that's why it's tossed in here, and I have this photograph here of the hair that I tossed away. And yeah, and on top of that, so here's inside the box there, right? That's mixing up cut hair with food is a bad combination, makes you want to throw up. And then finally we have all this wonton meat that my guardians had cooked up in the morning, and I took one bite, took one of those, and again, class 2 item that I had to be grateful and thankful and appreciative for, because nevertheless, it is something that I ate from them. Okay, it looks like I may not have enough time. I'm just gonna wrap up with Stoic Reflections and Waterloo Engineering. So, University of Waterloo Engineering, alma mater. So we have a picture here of people in engineering. I'm presumably nanotech or robotics engineering. It seems like 2 girls over here, and again, they're very much into promoting the whole woman in engineering kind of thing right now, and they have been for the past 5 years. It's probably take a turn too far, I will say, but back then it was a good thing. Back then it was a very reasonable thing to do. In fact, I would have highly encouraged that, and now they just kind of went a little bit too far. But still, it's good to see that there's this sort of change, this push for professional STEM degrees to have a little bit more just more women, more girls inside participating. So story reflections right here. We have one day you will wake up and there won't be any more time to do the thing you've always wanted. Do it now. So don't wait. This is stoicism, story reflections, Paul Coelho. I don't know. The point is, go to the page, copyright notice, not my stuff, not my shit, on Instagram. Go to University of Waterloo's engineering page as Faculty of Engineering, as well as story reflections, not my stuff, not my credit. Okay, and oh god, there's so much stuff to cover, right? I was searching up amnesty. Why did I search up amnesty? All right, it was one of the news articles talking about amnesty, and I wanted it was about the whole situation in Afghanistan and the Taliban that overtook, saying that they'll grant amnesty to political dissidents or people who were supporting the U.S. government previously or the Afghan government. And so I wanted to search up, what does amnesty mean? I had a feel for it, but I wanted to get the exact definition. Yeah, so it was kind of just granting this kind of forgiveness politically, and not pursuing you as a criminal. Of course, it's hard to say whether you can trust a terrorist government when they say something like that. They're not really a legitimate government, but I'll leave that aside. You can all decide that for yourselves. This is me just trying to cover everything. All right, and I think that's it. Here's another article, something on the Weeknd's Blinding Nights, a song that has stayed on the Billboard Hot 100 for 88 weeks, so it seems like almost 2 years. So that was something I read in the morning. And then we have here some stuff having to do with the Excel database and me manipulating it so that I could replace a certain word called I designate as what's the word? The word is spectacular. It's a ranking scale from based off of how proficient and effective I managed to cover everything on live stream. And so in a sense, it's like a measurement of whether or not I should upload it and whether it would be a replay value. So that's I replaced spectacular with monumental. Again, these are very subjective values to measure by, and there were 5 entries of spectacular that replaced monumental. Last but not least, on the left hand panel we have this additional line entries to yesterday's kind of system edition of 2193, 2195 to 2205. So 2205 now goes to 2208, has to do with actually making reminders visually on live stream so that I can remember what I have to do for the day, or what I need to do. So it's kind of getting this constant reminder of things that I will forget, of principles I'm forgetting. And yeah, that's it. So of course it does mean that I have to date and kind of tag each session to each entry or idea, but that's that. And I am fully aware that this live stream has gone past the 15-minute mark. I'm not happy about that because that means I can't put it on to Instagram. But the fact is, I got through all the content I needed to. So why don't we just continue on with the stream that's already past 20 minutes. There's some food here, and some Q-tips here, so this is trash. I move to the side here. This has got to go to the garbage here. And once again, the bananas for work. We'll take some supplements with us, and this will be for all garbage. Again, disposable stuff, Q-tips, spoons, that's all waste. And we'll add some supplements from the side here, and we're gonna get to work. So this is Ahn Rho signing off. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to take a message, refer to take a message yesterday's live stream. I should probably cover the fact that also segment 8 of phase 2, I missed that. But in terms of inventory, like I said, I had to add up the wonton. I know it's a last minute thing. The spring rolls, the wonton, and the wonton meat, siu mai, ha gao, all that kind of stuff was added onto here. All that kind of Chinese food that is material worth. Now, in terms of fitness, and obviously I added the budgeting, so finance, I ate about $1.50 from someone else. Politics and news, obviously, right here, like I said, the conservative election, the liberal failing, and then the conservative election. And then we have here finite exercise, sleep, waste, and everything. So yesterday I slept about an hour and a half earlier than the previous day, but I'm still late by about 3 hours. So that's how far back behind I am in terms of waste. And I managed to take a large shit yesterday. So thank goodness I've been overeating, so that kind of resolves that. So yesterday I actually ate less too. So digestive wise, excretion wise, also supplements. I'm still taking the supplements. Drinking water, I drank more water, thankfully. I was a little bit more active. I was not as active yesterday, but I need to improve on that today. So, and I got more sleep. So things are okay. That was the first step. I got a better day. That being said, it's time to end the live stream now. This is Ahn Rho signing out. Thank you for tuning in. And this is a goddamn 20-minute live stream, isn't it? Take care of your health yourself. Make sure you become strong, disciplined, responsible.